last week, Nintendo finally unveiled what is the NX, and it's called the Nintendo Switch.
And it looks amazing.
It does look amazing. It looks incredible. It is the hybrid of a console and a handheld in one. Basically what it is you have this dock that plugs into your TV, and you have the controllers which attach to a holder or something.
I mean, it's the little screen they attach to the side of the little screen.
Right, but when they're not on the screen, you can put them on this little holder thing to hold the controller.
And not just that, but they're also including an actual controller.
Well, I'm 90% sure that that's going to be an accessory that you buy extra, because that's going to be this version of the Pro controller, which they have for the Wii U.
Exactly.
But that was sold separately, and I believe that Pro controller is going to be sold separately as well. But the cool thing about the NX is that both of those side controllers, they're called Joy-Cons, can actually be split apart and played with two people.
Yep.
So you're taking a two-player game with two controllers everywhere you go. And I think that this is brilliant for Nintendo, who's always been pretty much lagging behind in the console generations.
Yeah.
So what we've got here is the home console generation. Now, they have dominated the handheld market since the Game Boy.
Yeah.
So what they're doing now is they are just merging those two things into one system. Okay, so I would be willing to bet money that the 3DS as we know it, they're not going to be doing that anymore, and they're just going to focus on products like the Switch that you can take anywhere.
Well, shoot. I mean, okay, so one of the games that was talked about in the little launch trailer that I posted on our Facebook page, which, by the way, give us a like if you like, but one of the games that was talked about in that was Skyrim. So
yes, they did show them playing Skyrim.
You can take Skyrim portable?
It would appear so, Chris.
That's awesome.
Right? And they've released the list of third-party developers that they're going to be working with, and it's a lot of big names. One in particular that I saw on there was Square Enix. So maybe we'll get to see Final Fantasy 15 on this new console. But what I think is so brilliant about the hybridization of the handheld and the console is they can turn that DS market that they've dominated, that handheld market, and join that with the console market that they already have, the limited market share that they already have. That's going to put them on, I believe, equal footing with Sony and Microsoft. Microsoft, which has never put out a handheld console, and Sony, which the PSP and the Vita both never really just took off like the Game Boy Advance, the DS Lite, the 3DS, the 3D XL, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. Now, it's going to be cartridge-based, okay? So that's kind of a return to form for Nintendo. And it looks awesome. And the commercial itself, I love the way it's kind of marketed towards people like us, adults with disposable income, with...
I was about to say, I don't know about you. I do not have any disposable income.
Hey, you've got an Xbox One, though.
Yeah, I bought it when I had disposable income.
Right. So it's marketed in this initial trailer, which I'm sure they will be marketing towards children in the future with the Switch. But it looks like it's marketed towards people that, have a lot going on. Okay, you've got the guy who's got, he's got to take his dog for a walk. So he doesn't want to stop playing the new Zelda game. So he just puts his little controller, deals the Joy-Cons on the side of the screen and takes it with him. You've got the lady who's playing a new Mario game, which looks awesome. Looks like maybe a follow-up to Mario 64.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It really did.
And she's going off to the barbecue and setting it up, and then her and her friends are playing the game. You've got the guys playing basketball that stopped playing actual basketball to play video game basketball. It looks like NBA 2K17.
Nobody picked me for their team, so I'm just going to play over here.
You've got a new Splatoon game that they've shown, and they're trying to market that towards the esports. And one thing that I've always said, even back in the day, and we're talking Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64 era, that I kind of picked up on really early is that Nintendo mainly markets to children. This seems like a departure from that.
Yeah, no,
for them.
I get what you're saying. Traditionally, I mean, and I was a child when like the 64 was out, when the
I was a
GameCube
kid
was
when
out.
the NES was out.
Yeah, and yeah, most of the games generally, and I would say less so probably for the NES, because there were a lot more. I mean, it's hard to say that because all the games back then were, pretty much the same.
Eh,
But
that's debatable.
of course it is. No, but I mean, they couldn't really get a lot of adult themes into games of the time
Well,
because
that was by design
Hmm.
from Nintendo, because there would be a lot of Japanese releases that would come over to America that they would censor in
Mhm.
America. And that was pretty much Nintendo of America saying, you're going to have to follow these rules and this code of conduct. And I think that's why the Genesis probably did as good as it did, because it had more adult themed games like Splatterhouse and Night Trap and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Now, when I got the Wii U, I was actually really surprised that Bayonetta 2 was an exclusive to the Wii U. And if you've ever played a Bayonetta game, it is very highly sexualized and adult.
Mhm.
Not pornographic, but very like sexualized, to the point where I was like, I can't believe I'm playing this game on a Nintendo console. On a PS4 or an Xbox, it would just seem normal.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're playing it on a Nintendo console is crazy. Now, what's that going to say? So we've already seen the Nintendo with the Wii U and specifically Bayonetta 2 going a more adult route with that game in particular. Now with their new console, they're marketing towards adults in this. What's that going to be for the future? So we can have games like Skyrim, but are we going to get like a GTA? Like a third person. There was a Grand Theft Auto that came out for one of the handheld consoles, but it was a lot different.
Yeah. Like the top-down
right.
view. Yeah, I remember that one.
So I would like to see more adult titles on the Nintendo Switch, as well as, your Pokemon, Super Mario Brothers, Pikmin, Zeldas, all those kind of things that are going to appeal to a wide range of ages. But what I like about this is you can play the game on the big screen on your TV, and I believe the dock kind of adds extra processing power to that to make it high definition graphics. Because apparently on the little screen it's just going to be 720p. So, but then you can take that AAA console gaming experience and take it with you, and you can like set it up, and basically you're having a portable TV that you can use like almost like nunchuck Wiimote style, or you can use a Pro controller, or you can put it on the little holder thing that they show on the front of the video, or you can take one half of the controller and give it to a friend
and play two-player,
and all of a sudden you're playing two-player.
Yeah.
So not only can you take it, and they're showing two Switch units back to back and 4 people playing all at the same time.
Awesome.
Yeah, or having like the circle with all the esports players sitting in a circle playing Splatoon, practicing, and then they all go and they throw their Switches into the docks up there, and then they all start playing Splatoon. So I think Nintendo, first of all, thank God you didn't name your console something stupid this time. It's not like
I really think that Switch is like, because it is it's clever and it's a good use.
And think about like the marketing terms you can use, like make the Switch, stuff like that, the slogans that you can use for the Switch.
Yeah. We're going to see some awesome commercials.
Right. So what kind of games would you like to see on the Switch? And what would be like a system seller for you?
Okay, so I was thinking about this earlier, but I mean, we've already mentioned a few. I'd love to see some Square Enix games, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. I mean,
maybe
we're
that
almost
Final
certainly
Fantasy reboot that's coming out.
Yeah, 7 when 7 comes out next year or whatever. But Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposedly due out sometime next year,
and that would be perfect for a Nintendo console.
It absolutely would. But I mean, you mentioned Pokemon earlier.
Oh yeah.
I would love to play a Pokemon game on a big screen
on
rather
a TV,
rather than a handheld.
Yeah.
I've never been able to play, I mean, unless I, hook up an emulator to my HDMI and, play it on the TV or whatever, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, but this time you'd be playing it on the system that it was intended to be played on a television.
Exactly.
And that was one of the things that I couldn't understand why they didn't do with the Wii U, because the Wii U is very similar to this Switch, because you can play a lot of the games either on the TV or on the gamepad, and then there's some games that use both, but I'm kind of surprised that they didn't have more of those portable titles available for the Wii U as a port.
It was a surprising choice.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they are gonna do with this new capability that they have basically invented now.
Right.
Like, no one else is doing this. I mean, the Vita, I guess, had some
like the
ability
crossplay
to
and all that kind of
crossplay
stuff.
with like the PS3 and stuff, but I mean,
But this
nobody
is the
played
console.
the Vita. Yeah,
right. This is their main console. This is going to be their next gen, and it's the Wii U meets the 3DS, and it's becoming this new thing. Now, the processing power, I guess, is going to be either close to or on par with the current gen Xbox and PlayStation 4s. Now, the Pro that's coming out and the Project Scorpio, of course, is going to be a little bit more powerful. But the thing that you've got with Nintendo is, first of all, the cooperative play, like two-player games. They've focused on that pretty much since the beginning. Of
and
their
it's very-
foray into the industry.
and it's very rare to see anything like that on PS4 or
Right,
Xbox One.
Exactly. And this
Online
it
play,
seems-
yes, of course, but couch co-op.
Right. And this, it seems like they are encouraging you to get out there with that system and play it with your friends, like side by side. And honestly, it's a hell of a lot more fun to play a game with somebody when they're sitting right next to you and in the same room with you than it is to play with somebody that you've never met before, that you just, are in a lobby with, and they're calling you gay and telling you they fucked your mom and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, you tell me that anyway, so...
Right. But,
But at least we have met
and
each
we
other
know
in
each other.
person.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really excited for it. How much would you want to pay for a system like this? Because they haven't come out with a price yet.
Yeah, they haven't come out with a price yet, and there's really no technical specifics. Like, I'm kind of curious about battery life for something that seems to be this powerful.
Well, according to sources that I have seen, which has not been confirmed, they're saying the battery life is mediocre, which they're looking at like maybe around 3 hours. So if you have like a high-end tablet and you're playing in a graphic-intensive game, it's going to be about the same as that. Now, standby is probably going to be a lot longer. Also, my Wii U gamepad sits in a dock that charges it, but I can also plug a charger into it. So I'm assuming that there is going to be a way to
portable chargers,
and keep that charged. Also, what was I going to say? Apparently, it's going to have like 32 gigs of internal memory, which isn't a lot.
It's really not.
But with a cartridge, and there's going to be SD and USB support on there as well. So that you might be running into a situation where a lot of your downloaded games are on the dock itself, and then maybe you copy it over to the handheld part of it and then take that with you. I'm not sure. It's interesting to see how that's really going to work.
Yeah.
And what kind of menu it's going to have. That's one thing that they haven't shown.
Yeah.
Is what's the interface going to look like?
I do feel like, as responsible video game and nerd news journalists, I'm going to call us journalists.
Oh, great.
We do have to probably temper our excitement for this a little bit, because there is still so much that we don't know. But
True.
Tentatively, I'm incredibly excited about this.
I will most likely get one. I kind of fell out of favor with Nintendo for a long time, and then ended up picking up the Wii U and kind of rekindled my relationship with Nintendo. Because the last Nintendo console that I owned before the Wii U was a handheld. It was the Game Boy Advance. That was the last one that I bought.
Really?
Yes.
You skipped GameCube entirely?
Entirely. Because I pretty much went from NES to Genesis to PlayStation, and then PlayStation 2, PSP, PS3, PS4, and then the Wii U.
Right.
The Wii U is the last console that I bought. So, but now that I've kind of fallen back in love with Nintendo, I'm definitely going to get the Switch. Am I going to get it at launch, though? That's the question. How much is it going to cost?
Yeah.
Now, I do like the fact that it's coming out in March. I'm sure there's going to be some people that are upset that it's not going to be available for this Christmas season, but it is coming out right after we get our tax returns.
Yep.
And maybe that's another reason that they're like, let's market to the adult crowd. I mean, you've got the NES Classic Edition coming out next month. Okay. Which, of course, there's probably going to be some young people that play that, but a lot of the people that are going to play that are people like me.
Yeah, nostalgic.
Exactly, who are in our mid-30s, and we're going to want to play those old school games again. And they're advertising and marketing to older people. So maybe what they're trying to do is, let's make it available after Christmas. People have their tax returns. They might be more likely to spend $300 on this console that far after Christmas, okay, when they're not buying gifts for all these other people.
Right.
And then test the waters with the adults, and then next Christmas push really hard for those kids.
Oh yeah.
Come out with those killer apps that the kids are going to want, like the Pokemon and the Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, all that kind of stuff. Now, Breath of the Wild is going to come out on Wii U, and it's going to come out on the Switch. So which one do I buy?
Yeah. Well, okay. So you and I have talked about your desire to have a complete Nintendo first-party collection.
Right.
So I feel like you're going to have to get it for the Wii U anyway.
Right, and that's for the Wii U, not for the Switch.
You're going to have your complete collection.
Right. Well, there's still so many games, and I thought I was doing well, but then I'll kind of look and be like, oh, there's still a lot that I don't have for the Wii U, and
you might have to give up on that dream.
Well, yeah. Hey, time will tell, but
we'll see.
The thing is that there's so many games out there in the first party collection for the Wii U, but they're all still like $60. And even if you get them used, you're still looking at like $45 to $50. You're not really saving that much money. So it's just going to be one of those things that maybe I'll pick them up as they go. But what might be a good thing to do is wait till the Switch comes out, because when they stop manufacturing the Wii U and stop manufacturing Wii U games, there is going to be that period where Wii U games become worth less than they are now before they're going to go up in value, because I really think that they will. And the people that adopt the Switch and fall in love with the Switch may go back to the Wii U and play some of those games that are only available on the Wii U.
Yeah. So we talked about potential price point a little bit.
Right.
We have no information right now as to what it's going to be when it comes out in
Rumor
March.
is $299.
That's really not bad. Because, I mean, I got my Xbox One at launch for $500.
Okay.
And obviously, price is lower now.
Right.
But
I paid $4 for the PS4.
Yeah. And they keep going down.
I actually paid more than that if you consider the fact that I put it on a credit card and paid it off over a period of time. But yeah, I would say $300 would be the sweet spot, because I think you're still going to have that apprehension to pay more than $300 for something that's, for all intents and purposes, going to be viewed as more of a handheld than a home console.
Potentially. Yeah.
I mean, how much does a new 3DS cost? $200?
Something like that.
Between $150 and $200. So, I mean, think about adding another $100 on top of that. I think that if they go over $300, they might be shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. But you're always going to have those initial price drops. In fact, I bought my Wii U off of Nintendo's website, refurbished for $200. Yeah. So, and I absolutely do not regret that purchase at all. So we'll see. Should we move on?
I suppose we should. But ultimately, I think we're both very interested and excited to see what comes of the Nintendo Switch.
I want to see Nintendo be a success again.
I do too. I mean, as gigantic a company as it is, as absurdly wealthy as that company is.
Apparently they have enough money in the bank to last like 13 years without turning a profit.
Exactly. I mean, as much money as they already have, I do still want to see them succeed because they have been such an important part of our lives for so long.
And, I mean, some of their characters that they've introduced to us are iconic to the level that really you don't get with any other companies.
Definitely not.
Sonic may have come close, but nowhere near Mario.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Mario come out at the end of the Olympics when they announced it was going to be in Japan. It was Mario.
Yeah.
So, there you go.